Hi, it's Lynn Shuck with Healing and Balance. Often in classes, we do things lying down on the back where we're completely lying down on the floor and we go to lift legs. And a lot of people just don't have the strength to do that. So the back will arch when they try and lift the legs, or the back will flatten, or both legs bend because they're too tight. Lots of reasons why maybe that's not the best place to start. But what happens when I work in what I would often go to next, which is a leg lift where the base of the pose is this, almost a bridge preparatory position, is people bend the knees and immediately the pelvis tucks under, back of the waist goes flat to the floor. Well, if I keep working here, that will strengthen my torso in this shape, but I want strength around that curve so that when my legs are extended and the curve is present, the curve can stay put. So the first thing we're going to do is pull the lower ribs to the floor, not the back of the waist, just the lower ribs, and then we're going to start to tuck and untuck the pelvis. You'll see that my ribs are being pulled forward and back a little bit, but I'm not lifting my rib cage up off the floor when I go into that anterior tilt. I'm just starting to see how much movement I have. And then I want to find that midway point where I'm resting on the sacrum. There's a little bit of lumbar curve lifting off the floor. Ribs are still on the floor. First variation, I'm going to try and lift one leg up and put it back down, and lift the other leg up and put it back down. And as I do this, I want to keep my pelvis still. I want to keep my spine still. I want to keep my neck and my face relaxed. You can put your hands on your pelvis to kind of see if your pelvis does anything interesting. You can put your hands near the back of your waist to see if you can't feel the floor. People usually can, but sometimes you aren't aware that you start to tip. So that's that's the opening gambit. As you do this, you can also really use the support leg, pressing your supporting foot into the floor. So next variation is pick both legs up, see if your back went flat on the floor, and if it did, find that little bit of lumbar curve again, get the top of the pelvis to lift slightly away from the floor, and we're gonna again try and keep the torso still, but now we're lowering. Now I could reach further away from me, brilliant setup here. I could reach further away from me to challenge it, and as I go further, notice if I arch or if I flatten my back. I could do that. I can also add arms to this. And if I add arms, I want to move slowly, and I actually want to pay attention to the arm and leg that aren't moving. So I'm going to set up again. Now I'm going to add arms. They're straight up to the ceiling. And I want to make sure, again, that I'm not flattening the back of my waist to the floor. We're going to take the right arm overhead and the left foot touch it lightly to the floor. And what we want to notice is these two that are in the air, are they still there? Did they move? Because what's going to happen is this, and we don't want that to happen. So now we have the mental effort of observing the non-moving arm and leg and making sure they're not moving. Ooh, that right arm wants to move. And still paying attention to the torso and the effort of lifting and lowering that leg. And we come on down. So that's a fun way to play. That works. You don't have to work with fully extended legs and try and start there. You can back it up to a bent leg position, but then you want to watch out how your spine is set up in order to build the kind of strength you need to then translate that to the straight leg lifts. I think that's everything. Go.